Dear learners, welcome you again in this session of the course Systematics of Angiosperm. Earlier we have learned about the inflorescence and its different types. Now we will going to learn about the flower and its different parts because flower is a reproductive organ. So it's important to study the different terminology that is associated with the flower because it is one of the characteristics that is very important for the identification of the particular family. So now starting from the flower and in different parts. So, if we see what is a flower, flower is defined as a modified reproductive shoot of determinate growth and consisting either only of stamens in case of microsporophyll or only carpel in case of megasporophylls or both of may be present that is associated with the accessory parts like sepals, petals to produce fruits and seeds. So, if you see the flower that has a pistil or gynoecium, then it has a stamen. These are the two main reproductive part and they also have a two accessory part that is the petals and at the base you will see there is a sepal. So these are the two main reproductive part pistil and stamen and these are the accessory part petals and sepals. So flowers has a these particularly four parts and the flower may be pedicellate or sessile. So, if we see a nomenclature of a flower, flower may be solitary flower as we have discussed earlier that form a singly on a upright stalk. Then it is called as a solitary flowers. Then flower has a perianth that has a structural accessory organs of the flower that is collectively term of the for the use for the calyx and corolla. So, perianth is a collective term which is used for the calyx and corolla. Then flower will be present in a group as we have discussed earlier that is called as the inflorescence and one single flower in an inflorescence is called as floret. And then the axis of inflorescence is called as peduncle that is the main supporting axis or stalk of an inflorescence. Then pedicel is the stalk of a supporting single flower. Then bract is a modified or reduced leaf from the axil of the flowers and axil is the upper angle between the leaf where the flower is originated. So these are some nomenclatural term for the flower and its parts. So this slide is showing the parts of flower and if we see the most outer part of the flower is the, in this slide you can see the parts of the flower and you can see from here the outer part of the flower is the calyx and the unit of this calyx is sepals. Then next to the calyx there is a corolla and the unit for the corolla is petals. Calyx and corolla collectively called as perianth. Then the male reproductive part or microsporophyll that is the androecium or stamen which has two part anthers and filament. Then the female reproductive part that is gynoecium which is also called as pistil or carpel which also has a three part ovary which is present at the base, then style which is a stalk and there is a apex present, there is the presence of a stigma. So these are the main four organs of the flower that is the calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium in which two are the reproductive part that is the stamens and gynoecium while two are the accessory organs that is the calyx and corolla. All of these four organs are the modified form of a shoot. That's why flower is called as a modified shoot. So, if we see a part of a flower is either determined if it is perfect or imperfect. Many plant species that have a both male and female flower on the same plant are known as monoecious plant, like in case of corn. So, if the plant have a both male and female flower that is called as monoecious and if the plant is male and female flower produces on the different plant, this plant is called as dioecious as in case of muscadine grape. So, in this case plant may be monoecious or dioecious depending upon how many types of flower it has. Then if we see the different term that related to the flower is complete when it has a all the flower part. As we have discussed earlier, the flower has a four parts sepal, petals, androecium and gynoecium. If a flower has all these four parts, then it is called as complete flower as we can see in this particular image. it has a calyx, corolla, stamens as well as gynoecium. So it is a bisexual flower with all the accessory organ, that is calyx and corolla, that is called as complete flower. And incomplete flower is in which any one of the accessory one organ is absent. Like in this case, you can see only there is a presence of a pistillate flower. Androecium is absent from this particular flower, that's why it is called as a pistillate flower. It is a unisexual flower. So one organ is absent from this particular flower, that's why it is called as the incomplete flower. So besides this, there is a flower is, you can see this is a bisexual flower, this one is a unisexual flower. So a bisexual flower or perfect, which has all the flower parts, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, but sometimes it may be unisexual, as in case we have seen here, this particular flower only has a pistillate flower, they don't have androecium, and in this particular flower you can see this one has only stamens and this one is only has the pistillate flowers. The flower may be imperfect depending upon if the flower has both the sex organs, then it is called as perfect. But if it does not have one of the male reproductive organ, that is either male or female, it is called as the imperfect flower. As we can see, these both are the flowers are the imperfect one, while in this case this one is the perfect flower because it has both the sex organs, or as well as it is also a complete flower. All these three are incomplete flower, in which these three are also imperfect because they don't have either androecium or gynoecium. So these are some terminology associated with the flowers. And as we have discussed earlier, that this one is the pistillate flower. As you can see, it has only gynoecium, female reproductive part. As you can see in this particular images, this one in this particular image, there is only presence of either one sex organ, either pistils or stamens. On the basis of this one is called as the pistillate and staminate flowers. So now moving towards the terminologies, as we have discussed earlier, as we have seen that a complete flower have two types of organ. They have accessory organs or reproductive organ. Accessory organs are further two types, calyx and corolla, and calyx consists of sepals which may be free, then it is called as polysepalous, and they may be fused, it can be called as gymosepalous. Then corolla, which is unit, is the petals and may be free, that is called as polypetalous, and when they are fused, it is called as gymopetalous. And the reproductive organ represented by whorls. Then there is a male reproductive flower, that is called as androecium, and female reproductive organ is called as gynoecium. Male reproductive organ has a further two-part anther and filament, which is making the stamens. They may be free or may be united, as in monoadelphous, diadelphous or polyadelphous. And gynoecium is also may be free or united, and it has a three-part ovary, style and stigma. So we will going to discuss one by one all these organs of the flower. Then if we see the symmetry of a flower, now next the symmetry of a flower. If we see a symmetry of flower, flower may be regular or irregular. As you can see, this type of flower, they can be cut from any axis. This is called a radially symmetrical or regular type of flower, which have also called as actinomorphic symmetry. That type of flower has a radially symmetrical. And the second type of symmetry in the flower is the zygomorphic, in which only one axis divided the two equal parts of the flower. As we can see here, only this axis divide the flower into two equal parts, that is called as zygomorphic, and this type of flower is also called as irregular. Beside this, some flower they don't have either zygomorphic or actinomorphic symmetry, then it is called as asymmetric. As we can see here, they does not divide into equal parts from any axis. Then the arrangement, if we see the arrangement of floral parts, they are maybe cyclic. In the most of the angiosperm, the flower whose parts are arranged in a whorl, as you can see, there is a calyx in a single whorl, then corolla in the next one, the third one there is a presence of androecium, then the center is a gynoecium. So in the cyclic is the most common type of arrangement when the flower parts are arranged in a cyclic manner. Then in acyclic is a flower which part are arranged in a spiral manner. rather than in the vasa in case of magnolias. And the third type is the spirocyclic, in which half part is arranged in a cyclic manner and half is arranged in a spiral manner. As we can see here, these parts are stamens and gynoecium is arranged in a spiral manner, while the calyx and corolla are arranged in a cyclic manner. So this type is called as spirocyclic and present in the case of Nymphaceae family. And if we see the insertion of the floral leaves from the ovary position, then it may be three types: hypogynous, perigynous or epigynous, depending upon the position of the ovary. As you can see here, in the hypogynous, ovary is superior because all the floral parts arises from the base of the ovary, as you can see in case of Michaelia champaka. Then in the second case, the ovary is half inferior, in which all the floral parts are either in between the mid of the ovary position. So in case the ovary become perigynous or called as half inferior, that is present in the family Papilionaceae. And the third one is the epigynous flower, or that in which ovary become inferior because all the floral part arises from the above the ovary. So example of this type of epigynous flower or inferior ovary is the Compositae family, which is called as Astraceae family. As you can see here, this is the inferior ovary in which all the parts are arising from above the ovary, as in case of Cucurbitaceae, bananas. Then superior ovary, in which all the parts are arising from the base, as in case of citrus, peas, tomatoes, eggplants, they have a superior ovaries. Now starting from the first floral part, that is the perianth. Perianth is the outer boundary. The perianth is the outer envelope of the flower, which is made up of either calyx or corolla or by the both. As you can see, these flowers have both calyx and corolla, and combined term for this is called as perianth. So the corolla, perianth is the outer envelope enclosing a flower. It is made up of either outer calyx and inner corolla. As you can see, this one is the outer calyx and inner is the corolla. Or sometimes they don't have any differentiation in the calyx and corolla, that is called as perianth. So this one is the calyx is the outer layer, which the unit is sepals, and the corolla is the next to the calyx, which is unit is the petals. And if calyx and corolla are combined into one undifferentiated unit, then it is called as perianth, and the unit of this is called as tepals. As you can see here, there is no differentiation of the calyx and corolla. Then the first part, outer part of the flower is calyx. As we have discussed earlier, in the most of the plant species, calyx consists of a green leaf-like structure, which is the unit is called as sepal, which protects the delicate or inner parts of the flower while it is developing from the desiccating. And sepals may be fused or free depending upon, and they also have a symmetrical or asymmetrical. In some plant, as we have seen, there is no differentiation of the sepals and petals, that is called as tepals in case of Liliaceae family. Next to the calyx, there is a inner wall of the layer that is consists of the corolla, which has the unit petals, and all the flower which have a color is due to the presence of their beautiful corolla or petals color. And some flower has a very large showy petal, but in some families like in grasses, the petal is become very reduced or may be absent. So petals may be free or fused depending upon they are termed as polypetalous or gamopetalous. And if we see the institution of floral part, that is the calyx and corolla, they may be there is a same arrangement of these particular floral parts. They may have a different arrangement, like this one is the different types of estivation of floral part, that is the valvate, in which no edges of the calyx or corolla will be overlapped. Then in case of twisted, there is a one edge of the calyx or corolla will be overlapped with the another. As you can see, all the one edge is overlapping with the another one. In case of imbricate, one wall is totally inside, one wall is totally outside, and three wall of one edge is overlapping. And in case of quincuncial, two are the inside and two are the outer, and one is the maxillary or descending imbricate. You can see there is a formation of a one larger one that covering, that is called as standard. These are the wings and these are the keel, which is protecting the. So these are the outer one, these are the overlapping, and these are the inner walls. So these are the 5 type of institution that present in the corolla. Now moving towards the stamens, that is the male reproductive parts of the flower. Stamens are the male reproductive part of the flower, and the plant makes pollen in the stamen, that is called as anther. So these are the, you can see, these are the male reproductive part which has a two parts, anther. In this part the pollen grain is produces, as you can see. These are the anthers, and they have a maybe two chambered structure, or sometimes maybe only there is a presence of only one chamber. Depending upon that, the anther may be monothecous or dithecous. As you can say, this is a dithecous, that means they have a two anther chambers, and these are the chambers in which pollen grains are produces. So these are the anthers. The next part of the stamen is the filament, which is a stalk which connecting the anthers to the flower. So that holds the anther, and depending upon the androecium, their number and arrangement, there is a classified into different groups. Like in case of diplostaminates, stamens occur in the two valve, and outer valve is alternate with petals, and inner valve consequently opposite to sepal, as in case of Cassia fistula. While in case of diplostaminates, the outer valve are opposite with petals, and the consequently alternate to sepals, as in case of oxalis. So diplostamen is present in the oxalis. Then stamens may be, they have a further arrangement. Stamen, they may have a different type of arrangement, like in case of isotony, when all the stamens are arranged are equal in the number of sepals or petals. Isotemony, in which all the stamens are in one valve and are equal to the number of sepals and petals, that is called as isotemony. And tetradynamous is the condition when the stamens are 6 and the outer 2 are the shorter, as you can see here, and the inner 4 are the larger. So this one is the tetradynamous present in the Brassicaceae family, in which inner 1 are the 4 are the larger, while the outer 2 are the smaller size. As you can see here, these 6 stamen arranged in a 2 valves. These 4 representing the inner one, and these 2 representing the outer one. Then in the didynamous condition, stamen number is 4, in which 2 are long and 2 are short, as in case of Labiatae or Lamiaceae family. Then if we see the union of stamen, there will be union of the stamen with the stamens also, then and with the some other parts of the flower. So the stamens, when they united with themselves, then called as cohesive adhesion. Then when it is associated with some other parts of the flower, it is called as adhesion. And if we see the adhesion of stamens, in case stamen may unite with the other floral parts like perianth, petals or gynoecium, depending upon they have different types. Like in case of Epiphyllus, stamens unite with the perianth, as in case of asparagus, and in case of Epetralia, the stamens unite with the petals. So you can see here, these are the stamens which is associated with the petals. These are called as epipetalous. And the third condition is, that is the gynandrous, in which stamens unite with the gynoecium. It is also called as gynandrium or gynostegium, as you can see here. In this case, the anthers is fused with the stigma of this particular flower, and that is forming a gynostegium, that is the fusion that formed by the fusion of anther and stigma of a flower, and this is called as gynandrous condition, in which stamen is fused with the gynoecium. So this is the types of adhesion that present in the stem. The next is the cohesion of stamens. When stamen is fused with themselves, there are different types of cohesion, in which the first one is the adelphous. Adelphous is the anthers remain free and the filaments are in which united. The adelphous is further categorized into the 3 types: monoadelphous, as in case of China rose or Malvaceae family, in which filaments is fused and forming a staminal tube, and here you can see the anthers are free. So this one is all the stamen are forming a single staminal tube in which anthers are arranged. This is called as monoadelphous. When filaments get into 2 groups, that is called as diadelphous. In case of Fabaceae family, you can see they are arranged in 9 plus 1 in one number. So they are arranged in 2 groups, that is the diadelphous condition. And in citrus or lemon plants, they are arranged into many different groups. then it is a more than 2 group, that is called as polyadelphous. As we can see here, the stamens are present in the many groups, more than 2 groups, that is called as polyadelphous, that present in the citrus plants. The next one is the syngenesious, in which filaments are free, as you can see here, but they are only united by the anthers. As you can see, only the anthers are fused and the filaments are totally free. This is called as syngenesious, that present in the Asteraceae family. As you can see, the example is sunflower. And in the Cynandrous, the whole stamens from filament to anthers is fused all together from the toward the length, that is called as Cynandrous, and in case of Cucurbitaceae family or in genus Cucurbita, as you can see, whole the stamens is fused from filament to anthers. So this is the cohesion of the stamens. Now if we see the attachment of the anther to the filament, it is either innate or basic, as in case you can see here, these are the innate or basic when the filament is firmly attached to the base. Then adnate when the filament is attached to the all throughout the anther length, that is called as adnate in case of Michelia. Then maybe it is called as dorsifix, as in case of when filament attached from the dorsal surface. Then it is called as in case of Bauhinia, and when the filament is attached from a single point and the anthers are freely moved, then it is called as versatile, as in case of Gramineae family. So this is the all attachment of filament to the anthers, on which different types of terms is used. The next, how the anthers is dehisced. It may be dehisced by a pores, as in case of Zoonaceae family like brinjal and potato, or it may be dehisced by a longitudinal slit, as in case the pollen released from this longitudinal slit, as in case of cotton or China rose. Then the last floral part of the plant is the gynoecium. Gynoecium, as I have told you, this is the female reproductive part of the plant, and it is made up of 3 main parts. There is the lowest one is the ovary, then in between this there is a presence of a style, then there is a sticky structure is called as the stigma, which the part contains ovules, and the ovule is converted into the seeds after the fertilization. And depending upon, as we have discussed earlier, the flower position, ovary position, if the flower parts arranges from the base of the ovary, then the ovary is superior, and half inferior in case of perigynous flower, and inferior in case of epigynous flowers. And if we see the style is the structure that present above the ovary, that connecting the stigma to the style. Style may be terminal, as we can see, that arise from the above the ovary, may be lateral, as you can see, that arise from the laterals of the ovary. This is the ovary and this one is the style. Or may be gynobasic, that is arise from the base of the ovary, as you can see here, that present in the Lamiaceae families in case of Ocimum. So depending upon, it may be terminal in case of Datura, hibiscus, lateral in case of mango, and gynobasic as in case of Lamiaceae family or Ocimum. So these are the different position of the style, and when style become swollen and form a structure called as stylopodium, it is present in the family Apiaceae or Umbelliferae. But sometimes this style is also absent, like in case of papaver or in case of Datura, maybe they have a very short type of a style. Then the third part of the female reproductive part of gynoecium is the stigma. Stigma is the terminal pollen receptive portion of the style. It is called as stigma. As you can see, this is the stigma, and which collects the pollen. It is a sticky surface, and if you see, stigma may be bifid, as you can see, this is a trifid, maybe pentafid or multifid, depending upon how many divisions of the stigma is taking place. And if we see the structure of a stigma, they may be capitate, as we can see here, this is a capitate, or maybe forked, as in case of Tridix, or maybe feathery, as in case of grasses. They have a feathery stigma, they have a feathery surface. Then if we see the cohesion of carpels, carpels may be epicarpus or syncarpus. Epicarpus is the condition in which carpels are free. As you can see, all the carpels are here free. They are the, as in case of rose, or they may be syncarpus, they may be united, and that is called as syncarpus in case of ladyfinger or tomato. And if we see the position of ovary, they may be unilocular, bilocular, trilocular, penta, depending upon the how many locules present in the each locules. And if we see the arrangement of ovules in these locules, they may be marginal, as in case of pea plant, in which ovules are arranged at the margins, or it may be exile when this locule is divided into many structure and the ovules present at the center, it is called as exile. When the ovules present at the periphery and the ovary is unilocular, then it is termed as the parietal, is in case of mustard or cucurbits. Then free central, when the ovary is unilocular and ovules are born at the central axis, it is called as free central. And basal, in case of when the ovules are attached to the basal position, then it is as in case of sunflower or gamini. So this is all about all the floral parts. And if we have to describe a flower, that we have to discuss how to write a floral formula. So floral formula is a description of the plant is completed. So lastly, we will going to discuss about the floral formula. Once the description of all the plant is completed, we have to give a particular floral formula depending upon the number of calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, what are type of adhesion and cohesion is present in this particular flowers. And there are different types of symbol which is present in the for each part of the flower. As you can see, if the flower has a bract, then it is written as a BR, and that is called as bracteate. And if flower don't have a bract, it is called as ebracteate and written as a EBR. And if the flower also have a bracteole, then it is called as written as a BRL just next to the BR. And if they don't have a bracteole, then it is written as a EBR. Then next to this, we have to written what type of symmetry the flower has. Either it is a radial symmetry or maybe zygomorphic symmetry, which is represented by these symbols. Then if the flower is only male, then it is represented by this symbol. If the flower is preceded, then represented by this symbol. And the flower is bisexual, then represented by this symbol. Then the next floral part, that is the calyx, is represented by K, and here number is represented the number of calyx present in this particular valve. So here the 4, if they are free, they are written as K4 only. If they are gamocephalous, then they write in the bracket. Similarly, if the calyx is arranged in 2 valves, then we have to write 2 plus 2. As you can see, that means the sepal in the 2 valves of each 2. Similarly, corolla is also written as the 4, that representing the number of petals. If they are free, that is there will be no bracket. If they are gamopetalous, we have to put in a bracket. Then perianth has also same type of a representation, just we have to use the symbol P. For androecium, we are using the A symbol. As you can see here, the androecium that representing a number of androecium, that is A. 6 means stamen number is 6 that are free. A 2 plus 4, that is the 6 at 2 valves. 2 plus 4, that is representing the tetradynamous condition. A 0, that means the stamens are absent. A infinite, that is the monadal first condition. A5, that is the syngenaceous condition or maybe synandrous. So depending upon these are different, and this symbol, when the C, A and they have a symbol like this is called as epipetalous or epiphyllous condition. So if we write a basic floral formula, as you can see here, this is a K5, C5, A infinite, and G10. So here it is representing a radial symmetry. The number of calyx is 5. They are free. Petals number is 5. They are also polypetalous. And the number of stamens are numerous. And the number of carpels is 10. So we have to write like this for the floral formula. And if the gynoecium is superior, then we have to draw a line below the G. And if the gynoecium is inferior, then we have to draw a line above the G. So this is the floral formula for the family Fabaceae, that has a zygomorphic flower, bisexual, calyx is united, that has a 5 number. Corolla is arranged in a 3 valve, 1, 2 and 2 are the united, that is a standard wing and keel. Then androecium is also in 9 plus 1 and the gynoecium is superior, that is represented by only 1 number. Then last is the floral diagram. Floral diagram is a depiction of the all floral plant as we have discussed earlier. As we have seen that the calyx and corolla has a certain estivation. Then androecium has a certain arrangement in the whorls, and the gynoecium has a some type of a presentation. So each floral part we have to arrange in this floral diagram. The outer one that is representing the calyx, then there is a inner layer that is a corolla, then gynoecium. Sorry, this is the outer one that is representing the calyx, corolla, that is the androecium, and this one is the gynoecium. When we see a particular floral diagram, this one is the bract, that black structure, in which that is the representing the bract. Then sepal, this one is representing the calyx, you can say these are the four. Then petals you can represent by this structure. Then this is the representing the stamen, that is the diathecus, you can say these are the stamen that are arranged in only one word, or maybe you can say these are the 4 plus 2, there are 6 anthers. Then if there is a presence of a stamen that is represented by the asterisk, and if it has a nectary then it is represented by the black dot. And in center you can say this particular plant has a axile presentation, that has a 2 locular ovary with center has a axile presentation. So this particular floral diagram depicts what are the symmetry of the plant, how many number of calyx it has, how many number of corolla it has, number of androecium, gynoecium, their symmetry, presentation, all is represented by this particular diagram. As you can say, all the calyx and corolla is not overlapping to each other, that is that both of them have a valvate estivation. So this is a floral diagram. So that's all for today. That these are the morphology of the plant that's necessary for describing a plant. This is necessary step. When we will study the families, these term is very crucial to understand before studying the family. That's why we have discussed this particular terminology to understand the families basically clearly. So that's all for today. Thank you all of you for joining this session.